Hi, this is lecture 6 in a series that I'm doing on my Wise EMPoweR model. I'm Bonnie Meekums. I'm a UK-based dance movement therapist, and this model arises out of my doctoral research, which I completed a very long time ago in 1998, but it's kind of been developed since. I'm using evidence for different stages of the model from the research, though, which was conducted with 14 women, all of whom were survivors of child sexual abuse, and using the mental health services here. So I'm going to start by just reminding us of that model, because it's several lectures ago that I showed you this in its entirety. And we're kind of roughly halfway around it, actually. We started with warm-up. These bits in green are aspects of the therapeutic relationship. The bits in white are aspects of change within the individual. And you may remember that this is kind of like a spiral. So people go round several times. And the last thing we talked about was empathic witnessing and mirroring. What I mean by empathic witnessing is not confined to the understanding some of you might have from authentic movement. I mean witnessing as in standing with somebody, and witnessing their truth. So that's kind of slightly different. And so we've got to the point here where we're going to have a look at this bit here, seeing things differently, which is something that is kind of like an aha moment for the individual. It's a cognitive shift. Metaphorically, it's a shift in position and perspective. So it's kind of like a sense of climbing a mountain and having a better view of things. And it's often associated with a shift in identity, or a self-positioning that changes from seeing things from a child self perspective to an adult self perspective. So here's a wonderful example of this. One of my participants said, I always stand there in the background behind my mum. That's my usual position. It has been the whole of my life. I still tend to sort of stand behind, but I know that if I want to stand there in front, I can do it. So here we go with a continuation of this. It's often associated with a greater sense of assertion, self-assertion. I can express myself. I couldn't do it when I was a child, when I was being hurt. I couldn't even do it in my marriage. So already as an adult. Nobody's going to cry me down and tell me to shut up or smack me across the face because I've opened my mouth. That realization of I'm not going to let this happen anymore is phenomenally healing. And here's another aspect of seeing things differently. This shift from child to adult self, which comes with increased self-esteem. I think probably the biggest thing it's done is help me see what happened to me as an adult. It's kind of made things clearer, and I value myself more as a person, and I feel I'm worth something, which, to be honest, I didn't before. And here we go again. It's for those of you who know about Melanie Klein's theory, it's a move towards the depressive position. So away from the splitting of good and bad to seeing that actually none of us is all good or all bad, which I think the reason that's a depressive position is because we have to give up the idea that we can have this perfect mother or this perfect partner or this perfect self. I now realize she's a human being, I think, and human beings do wrong sometimes. We can't all be perfect. And someone else said, I'm still very wary of men, but that isn't altogether a bad thing anyway. I do try not to tar everyone with the same brush, which I did at one stage. And this is the last slide in this lecture. This seeing things differently is also associated with an emotional distance. So we're no longer burying things. Nothing's kind of stuck in here anymore. I think I can stand back and look at him for the person he was, good or bad. It doesn't get me either as upset or as desolate or as angry. And I don't feel I was responsible, which is a phenomenal shift for anyone who understands this work or this experience. So many survivors sadly feel that somehow they were to blame. And that shift to realizing it wasn't my fault is such an important one. So thank you again for listening and watching, and I hope to see you again shortly. Bye for now.